Hello, welcome to the Sherwood Shakeup. I'm your host, Matt Weinglass, and thank you for joining us today, everyone. We have a very exciting show for you. Before we get into the topic matter, I want to say to everyone who's been tuning in this season, we're just so thrilled and happy about how the last 3 weeks have gone. Actually, we've been kind of on a roll. And if you guys heard last week, we were going to take the week off today, and it's kind of just do kind of a down week. It's always good to do kind of downtime every once in a while, and we thought we kind of earned it. But then all of a sudden, this new idea popped up in the last few days, really, and it's this thing that came up that was called time management, which is such an essential topic. I don't think we've really dived into it in the past. We've kind of brushed on it, but I just thought we should just do this full episode on time management. And we're going to get into that in a little bit as soon as I introduce our special guest. But if you guys haven't yet, please hit like and subscribe, and make sure that you follow us on all the handles at Sherwood Players and our website, sherwoodplayers.com, of course. Yeah, so and you obviously you guys can share the video if you're watching this on a replay. That's also cool, and you can share that as well. We're actually going to get better at doing segments from our shows because we've had such great, amazing guests on again this season. It's been awesome, and we're going to be sharing those segments on our YouTube channel. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and you can get this individual segments upload when we have them ready for you guys to see. So today, again, the topic is time management for the artist and entrepreneur. And we have a very special guest here. She is a business and project leadership expert, an author and speaker. And she is a renowned expert in the strategic project leadership. And she's very passionate about creating economic and social change. She leverages her skills and knowledge to positively impact the world through her keynote education series, podcast, and mentorship programs. Please welcome to the show, Fola F. Alabi. Hey, Fola.
Great to be here today. Thank you so much, Matt. It's great to be here. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yes, absolutely, Fola. And I was so thrilled to meet you. Just yesterday, we had an amazing talk, and I want people to know that our common friend and colleague, Ryan Folan, who happens to be our communication consultant for Sherwood Players, he put us in touch, and I thought that was just so cool of him. He was thinking about how he can help us align on this very important topic. So shout out to Ryan Folan for helping get this set up, and thank you again, Fola, for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's a great pleasure to be here.
Very cool. Very cool. So Fola, let's get into it, shall we? I mean, this is a topic we're talking about, time management, which is very important for all sorts of entrepreneurs, artists, and we all kind of try to figure out new ways that we can get the most out of every day as entrepreneurs, as artists, and are we doing things right? Are we wasting time? Are we hitting roadblocks? What can we do about these things? And I'd like to get into that with you. But first, the thing that got my attention is what you're known for. It's called the strategic project leader. This is very very interesting to me, and I'd like to know the roots of that. Where did that come from? What is the strategic project leader? I'd love to know.
First off, the strategic project leader, it's the name that ties my company. So my company is actually called Strategic Project Leader, Inc. The focus of the strategic project leader, it's all about empowering professionals, entrepreneurs, and even the youths and how to leverage, I call the superpowers in project management. But with a strategic focus, as you know, when you hear projects, it's all about the bridge construction, that major renovation, something huge. But I let people understand that every change challenge. Every challenge, every turn, every goal you have actually projects. And through my career over the last 18 and a half years, managing projects and supporting organizations, I have found that project management is beyond just a career, just a discipline. It is a life transforming skill. It has helped me in my career, in my business, and in my personal life. And so I am just all about sharing this good news to let people know that there is more to this. I have had the privilege to have walked and leveraged this in business. And when my life took a downturn, I saw the skill come to life and it changed everything for me. And so I help project managers initially to manage projects, but I felt that there was something more. There was a strategic piece that was actually missing because organizations are all about achieving goals. Entrepreneurs are all about, getting results. They want to solve problems. However, having a strategic focus to that changes everything. So this way it goes beyond just being so tactical and looking at those rudimentary pieces. And now you can step up and say, what's the bigger picture here? The products I'm looking at implementing, how can I understand the business in the drivers? How can I understand the economics that come into play? How can I understand my teams better? How can I understand my competition? Everything comes together to help you become a strategic project leader, where you go beyond just delivering on projects, but also you are able to help organizations transform, help businesses transform. That way, you create a win for yourself, a win for the organization, and a win for the community. So that's kind of how it all started. It's all about helping us leverage the power in project management with a strategic focus.
Project management with strategic focus. So what I'm getting for that, Fola, I'm understanding that we kind of, all of us individually, I would guess I would consider myself even like a project in and of itself. Is that what you're saying? Are we all our own projects to be managed?
My goodness. First off, I always ask the question when I start my, my talks is to say, how many people are project managers? I can just see, just chat in the comments. If you're actually watching us live, let me just get a one in the comments. If you feel that you are a project manager, just type a one. What happens is by the end of my talk, you find out that every single one of us are already project managers. The only difference is I make you a better project manager by becoming a strategic project leader. That way, when you come across challenges and change and all these deliverables and deliveries, you get consistent results. That's just the upgrade you need, because at the end of the day, you have got goals, right? Everyone, as an artist and as an entrepreneur, you always have something you're trying to make better. You've got a plan, you've got stakeholders, you've got that film you need to produce, you've got that outcome you want to create. All these pieces are projects, because what makes a project is it's a temporary endeavor that creates a unique outcome, a unique result. Mm-hmm. As long as you want a unique outcome and a result, it doesn't matter what it is. That is a project.
Very nice. And we have our own Steve Brock has said he's definitely a one. He's a number one for sure. So that's
great. That's it. The piece is that we are all project managers, but the piece is, how can we then get that upgrade so we get the right skills in our toolbox? So every single time when a challenge comes and when that goal hits, you say, yes, I've got it. I know what it takes to turn that around, and I can just get to work.
That's awesome. I love it. And you bring so much enthusiasm, and it's contagious. Fola. I'm feeling like I want to get to work right now. Right.
That's right.
So what is your experience? I mean, as far as like these tools and this like a attack plan to project management, do you feel like you get different responses depending on what industry people are in, or where people are coming from? Do you feel like some people put up more of a challenge as far as how they're able to implement this stuff to what they're doing? Specifically, I'm talking from the entertainment industry, because we tend to have people in our industry that they're a little detached from these type of things, just because they're very creative people, very artistic, but don't necessarily have those fundamentals of business strategy and project management. Like, it's not really there in the foundation. And so how do you feel a resistance from different types of people trying to understand this?
Not at all. The key, what I found is, even if you're a creative, you're a CEO, you're just a high school student, I always ask the question, what's the end goal?
Mhm.
An artist wants to create great movies. You want to get the audience to get the message across. And so when we get fixated as to, okay, this is what I want to do, but always think about the end goal in mind. If your goal is to create that fantastic experience as an artist, it's about what steps can we, take to make that process extremely smooth. Because you say, I'm going to go off, I'm just going to just keep writing scripts, I'm going to go in and shoot that movie. But what the project management skills helps you do is just helps you create a better plan. You kind of know that, okay, I know I have to be on site in 5 days. What needs to be ready before then? Let's work backwards. When do I need to get my crew there? Who do I need to be to create a particular section? Do I need to get the makeup artist there? Do I need to get whatever it is? You have a plan, and apart from that, everyone also knows what you're meant to do and when. Coming back to time management, because time is precious. That's the one gift and one commodity that everyone has the same of. Jeff Bezos has the same 24 hours. Matt has the same, Fola has the same. So we cannot go back and say, guess what? That person is just privileged, right? My background is actually just screwed up and, life just happened to me. But no, we all have 24 hours. And so we decide every single day based on the choices we make, based on how we prioritize. That will just determine the outcome we get every single day.
That's so well said. And you know what, Fola, like I was just having this conversation with one of my producer partners, Randy, just the other day. We were talking about the 24-hour clock, which you mentioned. And it's like, exactly right. This needs to be said. Like, we need to remember this when we wake up, that yes, Jeff Bezos has the same 24 hours that we have. He doesn't get a bonus hour.
No.
He doesn't have some secret special hour that we don't have. We have the same exact amount of time. And so like, I guess that kind of should humble us a little bit. I think that we all have the same opportunity when we seize that day every morning. So I'm glad you brought that up, because it means we're on the same wavelength. So it's very cool. Hey, so I have Steve has said this is very true about a lot of artists. He says, yep, I managed so many projects from small to larger, from a self-tape to getting off book on a script, to writing a script, all the way to production. So what I think Steve is tapping into is, yes, there's a way to attack a particular project like a film, but you got to attack the whole day when you're multitasking several projects. How Fola, how does that, does that change things for people who have like 10 things going on at once? How do you keep that consistent approach for all of these different projects at the same time?
As you know, there's like so many rules of thumb, and people say different things about multitasking. We don't want to get into that. People kind of say it's not productive, it's not effective. When you multitask, it means that you're going to have to, drop the ball on some things. However, I do a little bit of it. When you have multiple projects, it's not really about multitasking, it's just about prioritizing what needs to get done and having a schedule and when. So for instance, you may have 3 projects on the go where you have 3 movies that has to go live maybe next 3 months. You have to start with a plan. What needs to happen when? You understand first, what are the different elements that needs? I think about inputs, the tools and techniques, what comes into it, and the outputs. So for every single step I need to take, what are the inputs that I need to make that task or that activity complete? So I need to get information from Matt first. Does it need to come from a crew, whatever that is? I understand every single aspect of that. And that way I can obviously plan things out. So I know today I have 5 different tasks I need to do. It may be 3 from one particular project and 2 from another one, and then 1 from another particular project. But the key is ensuring that everything is actually planned out, and you have like almost like a calendar. I always say there's a key rule that I say is, if it's not scheduled, it doesn't happen. I have to schedule everything, even pretty much time with my husband. You wouldn't believe that, because the things that life gets busy. I've got a business, I've got a nonprofit. I work on so many boards and I support that. And my time is so precious. And because of that, I always have a plan. I ensure that I understand what needs to get done, when, what are the inputs I actually need, and what do people need from me? And I have it scheduled in. So that way it is actually clear as to 2 hours here, and then it's 30 minutes there, and it's 2.5 hours here. But what obviously gets people into trouble is when they have 5 different things they're multitasking all at the same time. And so they know, right, they have to create that script, and then they have to, take that phone call, and they have to do that all at the same time. And they're like, well, really, what are you really focusing on? That way, you end up dropping the ball. And so I can easily multitask because I know that I have it all planned. And at the end of the 8-hour day, I can be productive and have that checklist and say, yes, all of these pieces I actually don't. And we're going to get into prioritization and the strategies that I use, though, but it's all about just having that plan and having that picture.
That's so well said. And like you talk about scheduling everything. I mean, that's, I mean, I have to personally say, for like that, to me, that gets me a little overwhelmed, because I feel like, well, I can see myself doing that. Like what you're saying, schedule time with your husband, schedule time for all of your activities, all your work, to-do lists, things that have to get done, and you set a time for them. But what if other people aren't doing those things? How do we rise up? I mean, I don't know. I think, how do you inspire others to do that? What if your significant other doesn't want to do a schedule? What if they want to be more spontaneous and say, hey, I don't want to be on a schedule. I want to have more, like, hey, if you get the impulse, let's do this. How do you navigate that from different commitments?
The key about it is that you need to understand that everyone's different, right? Everyone has got different styles. However, when we go back into research to find what exactly can we do that has actually worked for most people. So even people who say they're actually spontaneous, you can actually have a time for spontaneity, right? You want to just go creative, right? I have a whiteboard next to my bed. You can imagine that, because I'm always thinking about ideas. There's nothing wrong with saying that I have, for instance, 30 minutes to write some stuff for my book. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that during that time, something could actually pop up, and then I change my screen and I say, I need to fix that appointment. That happens because we are human. But the key is understanding what exactly are the things that are actually high impact? Those things that are really important. And what are the things that are actually not as important, that are actually low impact? And what are the things that are actually urgent? And what are the things that, you can just really live without? Because I have pretty much 4 tiers. Every single day, I have an idea as to high impact, easy to achieve. High impact, harder to achieve. Low impact, easy to achieve, low impact, harder to achieve. With everything, that's kind of a way for me to just easily say, I want to get the big wins, right? Why should I bother thinking about an email that I need to send to a supplier that I know you can actually wait till tomorrow? When I have a major client that I need to action, that's going to probably bring me thousands of dollars to my business. So I will definitely put those pieces on top of it. So when you're scheduling, it's not a case that it has to be so rigid, where it's like, yes, Fola says have a time box for everything. But for key activities, it's extremely important that, because I need that pop-up, maybe on my phone that says, Fola, in 20 minutes, do you have a call with Australia? Or, in an hour, you're meant to meet with this particular crew to do something. I schedule those big rocks in so I never miss it. And I have time that's actually scheduled for family, because life gets busy.
Yeah.
But thinking about the things that are actually important and things that are urgent, you deal with them. And things that are not as important, you can actually schedule it in for later. Things that are not as important, you don't even need to deal with them. You just put a line, because you probably will never get to it. And that's okay. And it's just about understanding that and making sure that you know what you are meant to do, and you know what the pieces and inputs for the other person's role. For my spouse, as you said, like if he feels it's actually spontaneous, that's fine. As long as whatever piece he needs from me to run the home, I ensure that I provide that to him, and I communicate, and the expectations are actually clear as to, babe, over the weekend we have this planned, or we have this for the family, so he knows. And how he decides to deal with it, that's also great. We respect each other's boundaries, but just having that plan makes everything easier.
Very well said. Hey, so we have, let's see. We have, ZK Cool says wealth of knowledge. Thank you. And thank you, ZZ Cool, for being on the show with us and checking out. This is what an incredible opportunity to spend. Anybody who's just joining us now, we have Fola Alabi, the strategic project leader with us today, talking about time management for the artist and entrepreneur, because us artists, we are also entrepreneurs. We all are. We all have to get up in the morning like everyone else, like Jeff Bezos and everybody else with 2 feet. And we have to get up out of that and say, how are we going to seize the day? And some of us have strategies that are little better than other people, and that's why we're able to get more done and be more successful with more results. So let's try and figure out what we can do to be one of those people that gets the most out of the day. So this has been incredible information, Fola. Really appreciate what you're contributing here. And I have to say, when you said earlier about the high impact, easy to achieve, I remember because you had replied to a tweet that our colleague friend Ryan Folan had asked. And let me tell people this, guys, if you're not using social media, Twitter, like certain people in our group, I have to say, Ryan Folan did this, and this has actually got me attracted to get to know you, Fola, because you replied to his tweet. So sometimes, guys, that's what happened here. So he put a question out to the world, and I recommend anyone else, you can do that too. It's not hard. You go on Twitter, you throw a question out. That's what Ryan did, and his question was about time management, and it's what got us the idea to do this episode. So it all comes back. It all comes full circle.
Full circle, yes.
And this tweet was just a simple question. Does anyone have any advice about how to better manage the day? I'm open to hearing different thoughts. And Fola, I know you responded with this exact method. And I remember, I go, this is great. This is it's high impact, easy to achieve, high impact, harder to achieve, low impact, easy to achieve, low impact, harder to achieve. Those are the 4 categories. I was like, that's awesome. That's a great place to start. So thank you for chiming in on that one. So
that's right. That's right. I know. Cool. It's always great to just share. I never even knew that, at times I'm not even as great with social media. I need to get better at it for sure. So you can imagine that particular tweet just created this. So listeners, that's right. It
really did. And social media, we all have our different ones we like to go to. And your LinkedIn's kind of like your thing. I've seen your LinkedIn presence. Guys, you got to follow Fola on all the social media. It's Fola Alabi, and you can get her on LinkedIn. You can get her on all of we got Twitter. You're on Twitter. I know you are because you.
Yes, I am on Twitter, Facebook, and it's just search for Fola F Alabi on all social media platforms. That's right.
Actually, yeah, we can put that right here. There you go. You guys can save that. Go to her social media, follow her. Very cool. And you also have a website. We have FolaAlabi.com. Very cool. Okay, very cool, Fola. Now, I had another question for you, because this is something that came up. I was thinking about this before the show. I was thinking about this idea. When you're engaging with people and teaching them these skills, would you recommend, because some people maybe have a little of this going and then they don't have all of it going. Do you recommend that they build off of what's working? Or do you think do people need to just kind of throw what they're doing out the window and just start from scratch? What is the way to go?
Hell no. You can never just stick what you have and throw it out of the window and start from scratch, because for everyone, they could have like different tips and stuff that obviously already works. And I want you to also share it. If you're right there, in the comments, let us know in the comments what has actually worked for you. Mm-hmm. I pride myself, because I call myself a lifelong learner. I also want to learn different ideas to say, what else can we do? How can we be better? And so when it comes to time management, right, think about it as we are trying to get things done. But what I want to help you do is ensure that you're focusing on the things that are high impact, because you could spend your whole day, guess what, watering plants, just cooking a meal, and maybe you come back and send 1 or 2 emails. Was that day really productive? You still got some things done. But the focus here is, how can we ensure that we can increase and improve productivity? How can we ensure that we are working on those things that will push our business forward, which will actually help our business, our lives even be better? So it starts with understanding, what are those things that are the high impact items for you? What are the things that you really, really want to achieve? Just like people set goals for the year. You say, I want to make $12 million in 2023, or I want to build better relationships, or my goal is to become or to get promoted. If you just, or my goal is to get on a major movie, whatever
Yeah.
that is.
Yeah.
If that's the goal, then that means it's top in mind for you. You need to go back and then think, so what are the steps I need to take to help me achieve the goal? They say start with the end in mind, right?
Mhm.
And so just like any plan, I'm going to go back and say, now, what skills do I have? So because I need to achieve that goal, it's always starts with a self-assessment. I call this my strap up method. S is for self-assessment. You're going to assess and say, based on the goal of what I want to achieve, what strengths do I bring to the table? What weaknesses do I have? Just like a SWOT analysis. What opportunities are actually out there and what threats are actually out there as well. So to get myself on the next blockbuster movie, whatever that is, it means that maybe I have to maybe learn to act differently, or maybe get my communication skills up. Does that mean like, registering a course because I'm not a great communicator? Or I may already be a good communicator, I just don't know how to like show up on camera. I'll probably have an action item that would say it means I have to work on, getting resources and tools to help me become better in that particular area. So you actually need to just highlight all of those pieces and those particular tasks. Project management also helps you understand what are the tasks that needs to finish before the next one has to start. For instance, you cannot go off and go for a cast and go and actually present yourself as I'm ready for that particular show before probably practicing. So I have to do this 5 practice, or I have to probably meet with my coach 3 or 4 times, get some things right. Then I can start applying for that particular show. Or it could actually mean that I need to finish my course first if it's a prerequisite for me to be on set on a particular movie. But just about thinking about it, what are the steps I need to take? How do I break that down? It doesn't need to be fancy, just on a piece of paper. You write those things down and then you understand, do I need anybody else? Do I need any of the input from anyone else? Because those pieces are ones you cannot control. Then you have to then go out and source them. We call that a work breakdown structure. It just breaks down every single task into little size chunks. And one thing that has also helped me is that when you're doing this process, make sure you never have any task that would take you more than 8 hours. Because that way you also have a win. You can see at the end of the day, guess what, Matt? I did that. Because there's something about you just feeling like, goodness, accomplished today. I just had so much work. I completed that report. Oh, guess what? I finished that course today. Ensure you don't have, because when it seems so long, things like, oh my goodness, I have to come back in tomorrow. There are definitely going to be some pieces that will have to be longer though, but make sure you have it in such a way where little bite-sized deliverables can be done at least in a day. And so you go off and say, that's done, check. Tomorrow I'm going to go back to the next thing. So it's just all of those pieces that come together, just breaking things down and ensuring that you look at what's working, right? We do lessons learned. What was great today? What did I think I could have actually moved out? Did I, spend so much time just eating? Could I eat my meal maybe while I, review that particular report? Just test things out, because what will work for Fola may not really work for Matt that particular way, and just adapt and keep learning.
Yeah. No, that's so well said. And you mentioned something about that feeling, that feeling of accomplishment when you do finish, especially one of the big, larger tasks. Should we schedule time for celebration, or should we just move on to the next one?
Oh, no. It's just
I'm just asking. I'm asking for a friend. I know
you're asking for a friend.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I remember just on a call, with a CEO just 2 days ago, and he had a big win. And, I was like congratulating him to say, goodness, you had this particular award given to you. And he was like, I never really thought about it that way, because we never take time to give ourselves a pat on our back and say, well done, Matt, you've done a great job. Well, we deserve it.
Yeah.
Life is tough. Life is hard. But I'm not saying that because you just finished an 8-hour task, go and pop champagne and just start dancing and take a week off, but
a little extreme, but yes, no, but you're saying give yourself that pat on the back, whatever that looks like just even just go sit on the couch, chill out, maybe maybe pour yourself a glass of wine and just be like, hey, I did it. I did it.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
And
yeah, I'd say this too, because the 8-hour task, I mean, I think people put those big ones off. I think that's what happens. I think you see that list to do and you're like, okay, I got these 20 things to do. And there's that one thing on the list that is the 8-hour project. And you just don't want to even start it. And you're like, let me do these other little things. Let me get those. And you don't really get to that 8-hour, or you started and you're like, okay, that's enough for today. You never get it done. And I think that we have to schedule time for that 8 hours. Know that it's big. Know that it's the hardest one, and then we get to the end of it. Yes, congratulations, you got it. You did it. So, yeah,
yeah, and even if you can break it down further, if the task seems so big and it's 8 hours, right? If there's a piece you can do at least for 4 hours, the key here is to ensure you complete it.
Right.
Write it out and get organized. You have that list. I think that's the piece. Then just make sure it's done. You can say, yes, all that piece, my podcast is scheduled. Everything is ready. Or I've got all my script done. The person's going to review it is actually giving me the feedback. So that piece is done. Check. And that's the piece. And it's okay to also ask for help. Delegate. Because at times people feel that it's a sign of weakness. When you come and you say, I'm really not good at this, or I need help here, people are going to laugh at you or whatever. I'm the first person to raise my hands up and say, please, I need help. My husband, goodness. I'm like, babes, you need to review this again for me. You need to look at this. I'm like, it's better I suck here and then you fix it for me. I don't want anyone to see that. I embrace that because I feel that it takes a village. So ask for help, delegate if possible. If you've got the external resources, get external help. But if you haven't got that, especially for young artists and young entrepreneurs who are just starting and just strapping out, you're bootstrapping, then yes, just take your time, get a coach, get a mentor. That's another piece you can actually leverage. There's so many free resources out there as well that can support you. The different tools you can use, but I always say keep it simple.
Keep it simple. And here's a thought from Steve Brock. I'm going to put this up here. So we deal with this a lot in entertainment. So he's saying when you're a project lead, such as a producer, is it best to find the talent on your team to handle some of the items that allows the whole time to manage their time better? I think he's tapping into something there, right? I mean, we're talking about delegation, and it doesn't have to be a pretty please, will you please do this, help me. It's, hey, we have a common goal. Bring those other people into that goal and start delegating, right?
That's right. The goal has to be clear, right? It's about we, not me, right? We know that we're on a movie set because we want to create a great movie. And when that movie is awesome, it's about all of us. It's a win for everyone. And if Fola pitches in and Brad does a little bit and Matt does that, and then it comes together, it becomes magical. And once we set the stage ahead of time, I think that's another piece that especially leaders actually miss the mark. They come in and just say, yes, we're just going to do this. We need to step back and say, what exactly are we trying to do? How can we paint that picture that it's clear and everyone knows this is a part I have to play? But however, we are all going to have to come together because it's all about the success that we are all going to have to create together.
Yeah.
That's the piece that is huge. So that way, I'm not going to say, guess what? I'm not a makeup artist because the person didn't show up. I'm like, I think I've got that skill that could help a little bit. And then I pitch in. I'm not going to sit back and say, oh no, that's not my role. I'm not paid to do that. But when we know that it's actually a shared success, then, we will all come together and do that to achieve success.
Absolutely. And Fola, I that as people who like being on teams, we like to attract other people that have the same positive go-to attitude we have, that take initiative, that are assertive by nature, assertive people. They make the best teammates. People we don't really like to be on our team are people that make excuses, people that are no men. We want yes men or yes women, yes everyone people. We want them all to be like, what can I do to help this thing? And by the way, those people are going to get more opportunities because people are going to want to work with them. They're going to be like, oh, that's I was with that person on that one project that's yes, they were a yes man when the makeup artist didn't show up, or when they were like, how can I help? Let me go grab some stuff I have in my trunk. We can get this done. Or
Yeah.
a missing set piece or missing this. Let me make a call. You're like, I want to work with that person. So yes, we're actually setting ourselves up for more opportunities when we present for other people's projects. Other people need help. We're there. So we're going to be presenting ourselves as helpful to others as well.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. But I
Cool.
think again, it's about setting the stage for that as well. I saw a post on LinkedIn today where a guy was talking about, I think he went on the show. I'm not sure who the artist was, but he just kept praising his team. And he's like, although it was like a musical concert, he felt he learned something that had to do with leadership. When a leader creates an atmosphere where people kind of feel empowered and they feel appreciated, also they will be willing to pitch in. And so for we all as leaders, as we show up, as we create spaces, we should create a space where people kind of feel like, I want to be there. I want to be the part of creating something bigger and better. And at times where even things happen, like, give the credit to them. Let them feel that I was part of that as well. So each and every one gets excited. They say when people feel appreciated, they're willing to do above what they even asked to do.
Absolutely. That's so well said. And actually I just got reminded of this old adage. I as a producer, and this is for all the other producers out there, know this. This is a good one to keep with you. A good producer knows how to get stuff done. A great producer knows how to get other people to get stuff done. That's how you attract your team. And you can't put all the weight on your shoulders. Get other people engaged, get other people to help with the common goal. And then when the success happens, give the credit, because you're talking about credit.
That's right.
Give the credit to the others that deserve it. Even if they don't fully deserve it, give them the credit because they were there. Even a little bit, they were there. Give them the full credit, and they'll love you for it.
That's right.
They want to work with you again.
Because we are humans, right? Humans are just emotional beings. I know some other people may say, no, it's just about work, but there's just something that comes with it. So if I ask the question, for instance, who has really been an inspiring person to you through your career? Maybe you could have been a boss many years ago, whatever, but what name comes to mind, Matt? Who has really inspired you through your career?
Oh, I would say other directors that I aspire to be like a James Cameron or a Quentin Tarantino or somebody who's somebody that just knows how to just walks in the room and says, I have a story to tell, and people want to get on board and say, let me help you with this. This seems exciting. I want to be part of this. That type of person, the natural leader.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if it's someone that you've obviously worked closely with as well, there must have been something that they obviously did that got you attracted to them. Maybe it's just the charisma, the way they listened. Someone said something today, you're just not in a conversation just because you want to be there, but you listen with all of you. You're into it, and people kind of feel that, yes, this person has got vested interest in me as well as a person. So there's that part to being more productive, because only one person can never get a whole production done. It takes a team. So once you prioritize, when you plan things out and people understand the vision and why you're doing it, people will definitely slowly buy in as well to the goal.
I love it. I love it, Fola. That's incredible. So is there anything else you want to add to the conversation? Anything that you think our viewers are going to want to know more specifically about, as far as where you're coming from and some of the life lessons that you've brought to the table? So you've brought so much so far, actually, I have to say, and thank you.
No. The fact is, I just want everyone to know that everyone is on this journey, right? You might feel that people have just got their life so perfectly planned in their careers and their business. It's a work in progress. No matter where you're at, it just takes the courage to just say, right now, I want to take control back. I want to be able to understand, okay, where exactly am I at? Where do I want to get to? I want to just understand what are those high impact things that I want to achieve. It starts with prioritization. You just create a list and say, based on my goals, these are the strengths that I have. I can't go through my whole strap up framework though, but tap it in, to your strengths. I always say FOLA. It means focusing on opportunities and leveraging your assets every time.
Wow.
Focus on opportunities, leverage your assets. Every time you think about FOLA, think about that. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Always focus on the opportunities that actually presents themselves. And the assets you have are what's always going to be your leverage. The strengths, the education, the experience, the people, the relationship you've actually built over the years. And when you have that, you prioritize and focus on those big things that will push things further for you. You will always, experience greater success. And try to focus, because I had that challenge as well, where I had like 5 million things, and focusing was a little bit of a challenge to me. And so I make sure I zone out. I put very little music in the background. I just focus. I have, my little size task, and I just keep going off and I keep going on. And at times I have to work really late. The times you have to sacrifice. I work late, even at times I'm in bed. I'm like, oh my goodness. But when you're an entrepreneur, there are loads of things you have to do. But the thing is, the reward always pays off. They say you became an overnight success. Yes, after like years and years of sleepless nights and stuff, well, no one actually knew. But it could be just that one tweet that someone else has to see. It could be just that one post. I would never have met Matt if I probably never, just did that post on my phone that day. So keep working on it. Focus on those opportunities, leverage your assets, and keep prioritizing every day and zone out. Take time, and definitely you will achieve your goals.
Wow. So incredible, Fola. And your name is literally like an acronym of total success. I want to repeat what you said so people can hear this. If Fola is focus on your opportunities, leverage your assets. Fola. That's so cool. I'm never going to forget that. You guys write that down. Keep that in your journals. Keep it in your notes. Keep it with you, because that's awesome. I just love it, Fola.
Thank you so much. That's anytime I can share. I'm always so glad to, to share my heart, and appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being with us, Fola. Where can people find you again on social
Pretty
media?
much, you can find me everywhere.
Everywhere.
Fola F Alabi, FOLA, or even to make it easy, just fola.pro. It takes you straight to my website. And that way you can find all things, project management. But the key here is I am all about helping you amplify your success, giving you the tools you need for everyday life. It's like, it's mind blowing. I say, how can you ensure that you just don't win at work, but you also win at home? It's all about amplifying your success, getting those goals and turning them into actionable results. It's like, let's turn those dreams into outcomes, right? I want to see Matt like next year and say, guess what? I wanted to produce that main movie. Now it's like top chats. That's it. We're going to turn those goals into results. So and let me know that you're on this show as well. In the comments, when you send me a message, maybe on LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever it is, let me know that I was on this particular show. I cannot just wait to keep supporting and keep sharing my heart as well. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure being here today. And thanks, Ryan Froland, for making this happen as well.
Thanks to Ryan Folan, absolutely, for hooking us up. What a great networker he is indeed. And thank you, Fola, for being our amazing guest today, talking about time management for the artist and entrepreneur. This is Fola. Thanks again, business and project leadership expert, speaker, and author. Thanks so much. And we will see you next time on the show at Shakeup. Thanks, Fola.
Have a good one.
That was such an amazing opportunity to speak with Fola. If you guys missed the live and you're watching it on replay, we're also going to be uploading the interview solo, so you can watch that as well if you want to hear Fola in a little more detail. She gave us so much information. I'm still processing everything here, but that's why we have this available on YouTube. You guys can go back, check all the links. We actually we put a lot of her information in the description of this video, and we'll have it in the other video we'll be posting of just the interview portion as well. Thanks you guys again for being part of this opportunity today to talk about time management for the artist and entrepreneur. Let's go ahead right now and check in with senior correspondent Steve Brock, and we'll see what's going on with Steve in his neck of the woods. Hi, Steve. How's it going?
Hey, Matt. How you doing?
Great. That was you heard the interview. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing. I tried commenting as much as I could because I was really interested in what you had to say.
Beautiful. And like, isn't it so interesting to us as artists in our community, like the things that we know a lot of these things instinctually, but it's like to hear them coming from someone outside of our industry, and you hear this stuff that we need to pound this into our head of how do we attack these days? How do we look at ourselves as we are our own business, and we need to approach every day like this. Like this is serious stuff. We're not just crossing our fingers and saying, "Oh, I hope I get that audition. I hope Netflix is going to call me tomorrow and I'm going to be a star." That's not how it works. We have to attack it just like anyone in any industry. You can't just wait for something to happen, right? You got to make it happen.
Well, there's an interview with Jason, the guy who Jason last name on Seinfeld. He was talking about how if you're not getting cast, you have to start creating. It's too easy. So waiting around for something to happen is never. The old saying is, if all you're doing is waiting around for something to happen, what's going to happen is you sitting around waiting. So, but also one of the things I really found interesting is her focusing on distribution of work to teams and stuff like that. So it's just way too easy for us as artists to be isolated and think only we can do it, you know? So I found what she had a lot to say, very extremely fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we had some good comments from some people too. We have, let's see, we have a few different comments here. Okay, Alameda says, I jumped into this convo a bit late. Great information. Thanks, Fola. You're saying that a major key to time management is having a team to yourself accountable. Excellent. Yeah, well said. We also have, you know what? It's funny that ZK Cool literally took the words out of my mouth. He says, well said. Yeah. Very cool. So
I wanted to pick your brain a little bit because time management, I mean, we both produce, so time management is a skill that we need to have. Distribution of work to people. It's very important for me to find the right team. I've noticed that's something that you are fairly good at, finding a team to surround you. So what kind of things do you do in your life as managing the CEO of Sherwood and doing all this stuff? You have a ton of plates that you're spinning. So how do you manage your time, also your work life issues as well?
Well, it's a great question. I don't think I've been asked that. So I think in my head, I know the answer. So let me try and put that into words. So thank you for asking me that, Steve. I would say every day is challenging because you have so much on your plate. When you're running a company and you're an artist. I mean, I do all these things. We play all these roles daily. We actor, director, writer, producer. But on top of all that, running a company, it is challenging. You have to divide your day up into things. You got to schedule stuff. One of the things that Fola was talking about, which I really, really appreciated, which was the scheduling of everything. It is so important. And people I deal with throughout the day, I'll be setting up meetings or attempting to set up meetings. And some people I notice in our own industry, Steve, people that I consider successful people that I know have their own companies and and I assume they have the same type of juggling that I have. And it always baffles me when I try to lock people into to meetings, and some people don't want to put a time down. They just want to say, hey, we'll check in tomorrow, or how Thursday. They'll give you a day of the week. They'll be like, oh, Thursday afternoon, we'll check in about blah blah blah. And I'm always thinking, well, what does Thursday afternoon mean? Well, that doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Let's get a time. And
Right.
and that's so, to me, if there's one thing I could take from this with Fola, and I'll tell people listening to this, demand a time. People that are giving you time ranges, that's not cool. The way I get, so to answer your question, Steve, and you know this because we plan meetings, and I'm very specific about it with you and with our other colleagues. I tell them what time is good for you. Here's what's for me, and we lock in a time. You have to do that because then you're seeing that my time is valuable. I'm not just going to be available Thursday afternoon for you to check in with me. We're going to schedule a half hour. We're going to schedule a very specific half hour or an hour, or however long you need. It might even just be 15 minutes. I do that too. I schedule 15-minute check-ins, and they'll be like literally at the 45-minute mark of an hour. I'll be like, Thursday, 3:45. That's when we're doing the call. Not, hey, sometime Thursday afternoon. No, 3:45, we're calling. Not only are we talking on the phone, I'm calling you at that time.
Right.
Please confirm.
Now,
So those
I
are
noticed
little tricks I use.
I noticed that Fola is still in the chat here.
Oh yeah.
1 and 2 things is something that she talked about. I don't.
Let's put these tips. You're talking about the tips. Let's put the tips up right now. This is good. Good eye on this. Okay. So we have 2 tips here. Let's go ahead. So we have top tips, and I'll let you respond to this, Steve. Top tips: 1, prioritize tasks and focus on the important ones first. 2, plan and allocate specific time blocks for each task. 3, use tools such as timers and reminders to stay on track.
Do you use timers, Matt? I know you use reminders, but do you use timers?
I do not use timers. I just kind of check the clock on either on my desktop or on my cell, and I see how much is left. Yeah.
Like, for instance, when because I have ADHD, there's some other things that actually apply to me in the she's put down 10 different tips. But for me, sometimes I have to say, okay, I need to go wash the dishes for half an hour. So I set that timer for, this is work life, but so that half an hour, I have to set a timer. When that timer's done, I got to move on to the next task. And that's how I do it. But let's put up number 4.
Yeah, let's see the next ones. Okay, we got number 4, break down larger tasks into smaller, manageable chunks. 5, avoid distractions and minimize interruptions. 6, delegate tasks to others where possible. 7, keep organized with lists and schedules.
Okay, great. So just I really appreciated that number 4 because that's something we have to do. My daughter and I both had to do when it came to projects, school, whatever, is to break down very overwhelming tasks down into smaller chunks. Is there something here that you identify with the most here?
Lists and schedules. Number 7. I mean, to me, that, and well, 6 as well. I mean, I do naturally delegate things because you have to when you're running a company. You have to delegate. I mean, that's not even just asking for permission or asking for a favor. You have people that are part of the team, so you have to do that. But 7, the reason why I think 7 is and might be even more relatable to people is lists and schedules. I don't know anybody in my life. I don't care what you do throughout the day or the week. I don't know anyone that wouldn't benefit from organized lists and schedules. I tell people about my schedules. I'm actually very open about it, Steve. I used to be more closed. I used to be more like low key. I used to write stuff on binder papers, and like it almost felt like a journal to me. And like I remember when I was younger, people would like a journal. Like if somebody whose is this? Whose notebook? And be like all written up. I'm like, oh, that's mine. I'm like, give it back. And I don't want people to see it because I feel like it's very private. Well, I've switched my mind on that. Now I keep very exact lists. I type them out. So everything is bullet pointed. I color code. I'm always moving stuff around. And if anybody wants to know about it, I'll show them. I'll say, hey, this is how I schedule. This is what I do. And I hope it inspires others who maybe think they can keep their to-do list in their head. I don't know. I don't know if that, I mean, you might have a great memory. That's great, good for you. But organized lists and schedules. I don't know anyone who wouldn't benefit from that.
Yeah. So let's bring up the next set. That'd be great. Okay.
This is yeah, the 8, 9, and 10. This is okay. We have 8, regularly review progress and adjust priorities as needed. 9, avoid switching back and forth between tasks too frequently. And 10, take breaks to recharge and avoid burnout.
Yeah. Just real quick, number 7, just forgot to
Oh,
say
okay.
that happens to me too with the lists. Sometimes the way I am, if it's not on a list or a schedule, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Because my mind is always racing on something else. But with this next set, with like number 9 for me is the same way. But I want to speak on number 10 because I know you well.
No, I actually thought you were gonna speak up on 10 because I think that you're big on this, Steve. You have you always come back to physical and mental health as a priority, and I never write any of that down ever, and I think that's what she's tapping into on the last one. Taking breaks and recharge isn't just about taking breaks and recharging. It's seeing that your physical and mental health is also just as, if not more important, because if you let that go, then you're just running on empty, and you're gonna do more damage to yourself, to your mental state and your physical state if you don't do these things. So I think I'd love to hear your feedback on that one.
Well, for me, it's because I overschedule myself too, but there's, because of ADHD, sometimes I schedule things overlapping by accident, which is the biggest reason I always keep schedules or lists. But also, there are times when someone reaches out to me asking a question, and I have to say, I'm sorry, right now I'm having dinner with my family. Let's talk later. I think that is also part of number 10. Is to me, number 10 sort of speaks to the work-life balance as well. Because, I mean, the other night, I had something that I thought was an action item, and you told me, "I'm sorry, I'm with my girlfriend right now, and we can't talk. We can talk in the morning." That sort of thing. It's important for us as artists to take the hat off sometimes. You can be a father, a boyfriend, a spouse, or whatever. And that's something that we both struggle with, but for me, I've been married 27 years. You are about to start a marriage, so I think I brought up earlier about in the chat about that everything scales up when it comes to pressure. So like a renter has a certain level of stress about making sure bills get paid. And I had a conversation with a homeowner who said that to me that, but I own a house and I have to make mortgages. I have to repair my house. So I think just to put it between you and me, there's a level of stress. You're starting a marriage. I've been in a marriage for a while. There is a level of stress where both have. It's the same, but it scales. So my stress at 27 years is how do I keep romance alive? With you, it's how do I balance that sort of thing in a newer relationship. So I think those things are important. Absolutely.
And speaking of girlfriends, wives, and fiancés, here's my fiancée. Leslie is here right now, and she says, hey Leslie, she says, awesome advice to people like me who need to keep very organized, seeing multiple patients. So yes, those 1 through 10s are very important, and I hope people are able to jot these down, or you can always go back and rewatch this, and we're going to put the 1 through 10 in the description on the video in YouTube when we're done here.
We should also put it on the website, Matt. I think that'd be important.
Fola's 1 through you're absolutely right. Let's do that. Let's get that to people. So yeah, right on the website. And then yes, Leslie says definitely we'll work on these for my time management. Thank you, Fola. And yes, thanks Leslie, and thanks everybody on this. I would just say this. This is another reminder that people in different industries, because Leslie being in healthcare and all the other industries out there besides because we get very narrow-minded in our entertainment world, Steve. We do that. I mean, let's have some self-awareness. We think everything is storytelling and entertainment and stardom, and let's make our movie and get the role, get the casting, and get on TV, all this stuff. But everything we're talking about in our industry, this is all applicable in other industries too. Everybody can benefit from this type of attack of the day.
Of course. I mean, when it comes to time management, I know next week we're talking about music. Well,
let's get to that in a second because I want to officially announce next week. We'll talk about that. But yes, exactly. We are switching topics, of course, and we can continue this conversation, Steve. You know what? Hell, let's just go ahead and do it now. When we'll announce next week's show?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that. Okay. So for those of you guys just finding out about the Sherwood Shakeup, or you've been a steady watcher on our weekly show, we're here Tuesdays live, 3 p.m. Pacific time every week. We're in our third season, and every Tuesday we cover a different topic. Today was time management for the artist and entrepreneur. Next week, same time, come back here, and you're gonna be back with us, and we are tackling music in entertainment, which is a really cool topic. I'm actually so excited. We're gonna have some really cool guests on with us. Steve, I know you had some thoughts on our topic for next week.
Well, yes. I mean, just in a way, I want to start about relating in a way because I've seen you work with people from the guy who did the music and sound with the Brain Savers, and also with other projects when you're worried about looking at music. Your brother is a musician who does scoring, but that's also about working with these people. There's a lot of time management that's going on with that as well. I know for me, when it came to, because I produced a music video that it's been going pretty well in festivals. We won Best Music Video for the Sherwood Players International Film Festival.
Right, congratulations on that, Steve.
Thank you. But also, there's a lot there. I mean, for music to be it's very important. There's lots of videos out there that give you an example of what a scene is like without the music. They took like the Footloose dance with Kevin Bacon, and they dropped the music completely out, and it changes it completely. So I'm looking really forward to hearing what your team next week, or what your guests say next week, about their experience in music with film and television. It's really cool. I'm a musician myself, and right now I'm just dipping my toes into directing that type of thing. McHugh, MCQ, if nobody knows who that is, he started off doing music videos, and that design language that he built doing music videos has just extended off into a very successful directing and production career. So this is all related. We're all entrepreneurs, we're all artists, maneuvering through our industries, and so that's why we are looking forward to next week's episode. This episode's been incredible. We're so honored to have the time that Fola took to talk with us, and it's been very beneficial. Again, we're going to have all this stuff up on our website. We're going to have the description, ways that you can get a hold of Fola and all of her bullet points, so you guys don't forget all the stuff that we were able to learn today. Steve, thanks for checking in with us, and I want everyone to know we can check. No, I'm going to tell them right now that people can check you out on our latest project we just released the sizzle reel for. So cool.
It's called Confessions of a Union Buster, and it's our feature film. We're going to be going into pre-production soon. Steve played the lead role on our sizzle reel. It's on our YouTube channel now.
It's so good, Matt. It kicks ass.
No, you did an excellent job, Steve. It was, talk about taking a team. We had just soldiers on the ground to get this done, and I think people who haven't seen it yet, they need to check it out. It's Confessions of a Union Buster sizzle reel. It's called a call to action, 2-minute sizzle. It's on our YouTube channel right now. Check that out. That's our upcoming film that will be going into pre-production this year, coming up
Right.
soon. We're all excited
I'm
about
looking
that.
so forward to this.
Awesome. All right, Steve, thanks for checking in with us, and we'll catch up with you next time. Thank you so much. Okay.
Before I go, I
Yes.
want to ask you one last question.
Yes, of course.
What are you going to do this week to better manage your time based on what you just learned?
So I think we're back to number 10. We're going to post 1 through 10, and every one of those things is important and vital. But I think I do need to schedule more personal time and
Right.
rejuvenation time, I would say.
Exactly.
So everything about 10, that's the one that stuck out the most for me. So
Oh, yeah.
I'll be on that. Yeah.
Well,
For sure.
Thanks for having me on, Matt. I'm glad
Yeah.
we got a chance to talk. You haven't been interviewed on the show. I think I hope I did a decent job interviewing you.
No, you asked some great questions. That's what it's about. Asking lead-in questions that can help people get off go on to as much as they want from there. And then the next part of interviewing is, we could do an episode on interviewing. That'd be funny. How to conduct an interview. And then the idea after that is how do you come back in? And then if a conversation gets too far off, how do you bring it back? So there's things I learn about it every week. Every week I get a little better at how do you engage with people. But
Right.
You did a great
Right.
job. Great job, Steve.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And very fascinating hearing some of this stuff from you. I haven't really had a chance to talk to you about this stuff before. So and it's great that we got to do it somewhat in public. So it's kind of cool.
Awesome. Thanks, Steve. Thanks for checking in with us, and we'll see you next time.
Absolutely.
Okay. Awesome.
See you next time.
All right. That was Steve Brock, senior correspondent of the Sherwood Shakeup, and leader on the Sherwood Players team. We are community of artists, actors, producers, writers, directors, all types of artists coming together in Los Angeles here. The Sherwood Players Productions. You guys can follow us on all social media. It's not hard to find us. All you got to do is go to @Sherwood Players. You can find us anywhere on all social. Some of them don't have those ones. Just type in Sherwood Players Productions, LinkedIn, Facebook. I think you can find us at Sherwood Players Productions. Our website, of course, www.sherwoodplayers.com. You can sign up for our mailing list and be first to find out about what we have coming up in the community. We do all sorts of stuff. We have live events, we have classes, workshops. We do screenings, premieres. We have auditions for stuff all the time. Any type of medium. We have a project going: animation, audiobooks, documentaries. So if you're on a crew, you want to come, let us know that you're out there. You're part of our community. We will get you on a crew. Like we said earlier, our feature films are in the works. Specifically, this one coming up, Confessions of a Union Buster. A lot of stuff, a lot of activities, a lot of in-person events. 2023, we're just getting started. We have so much more to go. And again, we're going to keep going on Sherwood Shakeup. We have some incredible shows coming up. Next week will be music and entertainment. So don't forget to hit like, follow, subscribe, share this link. If you're watching it on replay, comment, share it with people, and you'll be first to be notified for any new content we're uploading. And we're uploading all the time new content to our channel on YouTube, Sherwood Players. I'm Matt Weinglass. Thanks for joining us on the Sherwood Shakeup. And our motto for Sherwood is power in numbers, power to the artist, character driven. Until next time, take care, guys. We'll see you then.